Welcome to this video. Thank you for watching. This is my first speaking YouTube video. The reason why I'm doing it is because I recently purchased just over a week ago, August 2023, this Brother SE630 Embroidery and Sewing Machine. And the reason why I brought it is because I like to sew. I enjoy sewing. I enjoy making my everyday clothes. Almost everything that I wear, I make. Almost, not everything. Almost everything that I wear, I make. This is my third Brother machine. So I started sewing with a little small basic Brother machine, and then I upgraded to a computerized Brother machine, and now I've upgraded again to an embroidery and sewing machine. I've seen videos on the SE600, the SE625. Now, I understand that there's a series, but I haven't seen that many videos with this machine, the SE630. So my reason for doing this video is just because I haven't seen that many with this actual 630. Even though I know the 600 and the 625, they pretty much work the same. I think that the only difference is with this machine, I received 400 free designs from Brother that I had to load onto a USB stick. I saw one video where a lady had a 625, and she said that with her 625, she got the machines that were standard on the machine, excuse me, and she got 200 free designs from Brother that she had to load onto a USB. Well, so I think the only difference in mine is in hers is that I received 200 more free designs than she received with hers. So first I'm going to show you some of the things that came with my machine. That came with the machine. Obviously the machine, an electricity cord. It came with a power foot, and this can only be used when you are sewing. When you are embroidering, you will use your start-stop button. With sewing, you can use the button or you can use the foot. I upgraded to an electronic machine because I didn't want to use the foot. I wanted to use the start-stop button. So that's the reason why I first upgraded. And so I never used my foot. Inside the box were some other little goodies. And one of the things that I have never received with a Brother machine was this pair of scissors. So Brother has finally given me something different from the usual things that I normally have in my box. So they give you needles, they give you spool caps, they give you extra spool, they give you your screwdriver and a lint remover brush and a seam ripper. So those are some of the things in this bag, and most of the time these are standard with any sewing machine that you buy. Most of the time these are some of the standard items. Also with this machine, more standard items. You receive different types of presser feet. So you have a buttonhole foot, you have a zipper foot, and some other things in there. With this machine you have your embroidery foot, which you can use to do embroidery, you can use to do quilting, and also most of the time they give you some extra bobbin cases, not bobbin case, bobbins. They give you extra bobbins, but inside this bag they've also given some pre-wound bobbins, which means the thread is already on the bobbin, and they give you little bobbin clips. So you put these on your bobbin to keep your bobbin thread from unwinding while you're storing it wherever you're storing it. So that was pretty nice of them as well to give pre-wound bobbins. Be careful with your pre-wound bobbins to make sure that you're not using the embroidery bobbins on your normal everyday sewing. You also get, because this is an embroidery machine, you get an embroidery frame. And this one it's a 5 by 6.5, but you can only sew 4.4 area. So they give you a little guide, and I hope you can see this well. They give you a little guide. So this frame itself, if I use a ruler to measure it, it's about 5 times 6.5. But the area that I can actually embroider is 4 by 4. That's the center. These are your sides. You cannot embroider out here. The machine will not do it. So you have a 4 by 4 embroidery frame. With my machine, which I noticed in some of the other videos, people didn't say they received this. I don't know whether they didn't receive it or whether it was, you know, maybe they just missed it out. I think there was a lady who had the 625. She did get this, but it's just a dust cover. It's a dust cover for your sewing machine. If you have your embroidery carriage on, this will not cover the part of the embroidery carriage. It would only cover from here, and the embroidery carriage is a little bit longer. So those are the things that were in the box, along with a few manuals. So your sewing machine manual, which you may find yourself using over and over and over and over. I found myself using mine over and over and over. And you also have an embroidery design guide, and it just kind of tells you some of the designs that you can do. It also has it shows you some of the designs and some of the colors. I think it has a color chart. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. It has a color chart for different types of threads. I hear that Madeira is the most popular, but they have Sulky, they have RA polyester. I think I'm sorry, polyester. Sulky is a popular brand I keep hearing as well. This is my first embroidery machine, so I don't know which one is the best. It's going to be trial and error. But what I did do is buy some thread. Let me show you the carriage as well. Let me just be careful and hold my carriage. I'll put that on later so you can see exactly how it works. If you watch any Brother SE series video on YouTube on how to use the machine. So if you watch a video for the SE600, if you watch a video for the SE625, this machine works exactly the same way. I haven't seen any button or anything that's different. There's a lady on YouTube who explains the ins and outs of every single button on here, all of these buttons, when you go in, what the differences are. So I found that very, very useful. All of that is in the book as well, but she, you know, some people like to see it in action and do it along with the video and all of that, and that was me. So I first watched the videos several times. I didn't read my book on my own. Then I went back to the videos and I started doing things with them, so that way I could learn how to use my machine. Now, I've already threaded this machine because I've been sewing with it. I'm currently making my first quilt. I'm doing a lot of firsts in this month of August 2023. So I'm embroidering for the first time, and I'm also making my first quilt. So I have already been sewing with this machine, and it sews like a dream. On my previous machine, which I still love and I'll still use, but the difference that I found on my previous machine and this machine, and mind you, my previous machine is only a sewing machine, but it is a computerized machine, and it handles thick layers of fabric pretty good. I sew denim and everything on that machine, and I'm telling you, it could handle 4 to 6 layers of denim with ease. But I do have to use this thing that they call, I don't know what it's called, but it's something that you put on the back of your machine, and if you're going over humps and lumps or bulky, it's called a bulky seam tool, something of that nature. Not exactly what I just said, but it's something about bulky seams. But if you put it on the back under your presser foot and put your bulky fabric on the front, it levels out your presser foot, so then your bobbin doesn't get all raggedy and stuff like that, because if you don't, then you'll have a nest of thread under, because it's not, the presser foot is not level. That could be explained in another video. I think I went too far just now, so I digress. Okay, so those are some of the things that came in the box. I also want to show you some things that I purchased because, as I said to you, I watched so many other videos and I learned so much from watching them that I thought, while I'm doing this video, I'll also share with you some of the things that I learned while watching the videos that I watched. So, let me show you this box. This is thread that I purchased at Walmart, and this is Sim thread. It's a cheaper brand of embroidery thread, but it does seem to be a popular brand that I keep seeing the name everywhere. So this is a box of 40, and this thread is 40 weight. I wrote that on there for myself just so I can keep track of the weight of my thread. So when I open the box, as you see, I've got notes everywhere to remind me of everything. So when I opened the box, there was this card in there saying, "Dear customer, whatever, thank you." And they also gave me some free gifts as well. And they tell you, you know, if you have any issues, they have their contact details there. So first I'll show you the thread. Another thing I'll show you, sorry. So this is their color chart. And on the back of their color chart, they also list some of the popular names so you can match the thread of what. So I can match Madeira white with their white, because on your machine you can say, I think there's about 3 options of which company thread you're using, and Madeira is one that's on the machine already. So this company Sim thread is not on the machine, but Madeira is on the machine. But I can say, okay, Sim thread, I have number 1 in Madeira, that would be 1801. So if on my machine it tells me to use thread 1801, I know from this box I'm choosing number 1. I've opened and used some of my thread already, but just to show you, nice, beautiful colors. This is not metallic, but it has a really nice shine to it. I don't know if you can see it at all, but it has a really nice shine to it, and it's not even a metallic thread. They have a really nice shine to them. You would think they must be metallic threads, but they're not metallic threads. So like I said, I have 40 colors here. And now let me show you the gifts that they gave me in this box. So one of the gifts that they gave me was stabilizer. It was a little bit bigger than this, but I've used it twice, so this is my last little piece to practice on. But they also gave some thread covers, they gave some extra bobbins, and they gave some pre-wound bobbins. Now, sewing thread and embroidery thread are 2 totally different threads because of the weights, the needle sizes, and things like that. So you want to make sure that you get the right class, the right size for your machine, and that you get the right thread. Pre-wound bobbins cannot be reused because they don't have the holes in them. But looking at these bobbins, they do have holes in them. Let me just take it out of the bag. Just to be clear, it looks like they do have holes in them. So you can reuse these bobbins, but most pre-wound bobbins cannot be reused, which means once you use all the thread off of the bobbin, you have to throw it away. Embroidery thread is very fine. It's so fine. And it has that sheen to it that I just love. Anyway, so I can reuse these, but I've ordered some off Amazon. I've ordered a 144 pack of black and white, but I won't be able to reuse them. I've heard that pre-wound bobbins can also come plastic, they can come cardboard, and I've heard that the best advice is to use a plastic one, because with the cardboard ones, all the dust could build up in your machine and that could cause some issues. So I'm gonna take that advice and run with it. I don't want any issues with my new machine. So I've shown you the threads. Let me show you something else. Another tip that someone gave me when I was watching the videos. I say gave me like they make the video just for me. They gave in their video, one of the tips was to have a curved pair of scissors. And the reason why is because when you have your embroidery frame on your machine, you don't want to use, you can't use a flat pair of scissors to cut the threads down that you're trying to cut down. So by using these scissors, they're curved over, they'll go over the frame and they'll go down to the fabric and they will cut. These I just ordered on Amazon, nothing special about them besides they are curved, sharp scissors, and it came in a set of 2. So with that, with the bigger one, I also got this little smaller one came with it, and they have a curved tip as well. So if I held them over the frame, they have a curved tip where they go down and they cut. These are curved tip as well. Now, another tip that I learned, let me get my frame again. What do I do with the frame? Okay. A tip that I learned while watching these videos was that sometimes when you put different, obviously we're going to use different types of fabric during our embroidery. So sometimes when you put the frame down, your fabric, your stabilizer may be so bulky that it could cause your frame to pop while you're sewing, to pop out. So although you may screw it tight and all of that, one lady has said she has experience where the frame has popped open. So what she does, she tightens it, but she also uses these clips and she just puts them like on the edge there. She just puts them on the edge. So you just have like double security while you're sewing. You know that, you know, your frame is not gonna pop open. Now, you don't want them to be, I mean, they probably won't disturb the needle being there anyways, but that's really not holding my frame as good as well. But you wanna make sure that these don't get in the way of your needle moving around in your 4x4 area. You wanna make sure your fabric is not in the way, your stabilizer is not in the way of you doing that. Now I wanna show you some of the testing that I did with my machine. This is some of the testing embroidery that I did. And if you notice, I've got 4 designs on one piece of fabric. And the reason why I did that, because I have ordered some stabilizer, but it hadn't come before the time that I wanted to practice on my machine. So I used the gifted stabilizer that came with the thread that I bought, and instead of taking the stabilizer off and putting another piece of fabric on, I just moved my fabric around in my embroidery frame, so that way it went up a little bit and then I could, you know, embroider some over here, then it went up that way a little bit and I can embroider some over there, and I pulled it down a little bit. So I just maneuvered it around in my frame where I utilized that stabilizer and my fabric, and I practiced several times using different colors, because you'll notice that your designs, some designs will have various colors. I saw something on Facebook today. There's an embroidery group that I joined for brother on Facebook, and the lady did a design. I think it had maybe like 12 colors. She was like, I'll never do this again. You think the designs are so pretty, but you don't think about how many color changes you'll have to do. And I think she said it took like 4 hours for her to do it as well. It was very pretty though, very pretty. So that's the back of it. This stabilizer is a tearaway stabilizer, and there are videos out there that will teach you what type of stabilizer to use as well. The one that came in this package was a tearaway, and it was good for me that I chose this firm fabric, a good woven fabric to use to test on and to use that tearaway. But as you can see, it tore away even out of these little bits. It tore away really well, and my designs turned out really well. So that's the back. And just go back to the front and show you the front. I love that tee. I love that tee. I love the feel of embroidery. I like the way it feels. Like, oh, it just feels so nice. It's so nice and firm. The videos taught me all about tension and things like that, what to do. So I've already got threaded my machine, but I'm going to remove it because I just want to show you how to put your carriage on and how to look at your designs. I'm going to connect my USB just so I can show you that as well. I'm going to turn my machine off, and then I'm going to take the storage unit off. I might have to adjust some things here. Let's get rid of some things here and some things here, so I can have enough space. I would say handle your carriage delicately. This has a slot in here where it goes, and it kind of tells you what to do. Turn your machine off is what it says first, which I've already done. I'm just gonna turn it around a little bit, and it's really simple. You just want to make sure you push it all the way in, which I have done. And I hope the camera has caught all of that. I'm just gonna lower it a little bit. So sorry for the shakiness. Just want to lower the camera a little bit, because I want to make sure you can see all of it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Switch my machine back on. And it gives me a warning just telling me to be careful. All of this is in your book as well. Keep your hands away from the carriage and all of that. Okay, fine. And now it comes up with embroidery designs, because I have attached the embroidery carriage. I'm gonna get my USB, and I'm going to show you So right now we have the basic designs in there, and you have 9 pages of the basic designs that you can shuffle through. They have some really cute little things in there. But I'm gonna go back, and I am going to put in my USB stick, and then I'm gonna press USB. And I've got some other folders on there which I need to take off, because it's good to have, I've heard that it's good to have a USB dedicated to your machine, because when you want to do something like upgrade your machine, you have to use a blank USB. So I'm just going to move all these files to my computer at some point. So I just pressed the folder for Brother Embroidery, and that's what I created on my USB. And the 400 files that Brother gave me are in there. The 400 designs that Brother gave me are in there. While that's doing that, I am just going to take this thread off. It's not embroidery thread. This is sewing thread, so I'm going to take that off. Take that bobbin out, because again, that's not sewing thread. I mean embroidery thread. That is sewing thread. I'm going to keep those pieces there to make sure that I don't lose them. And I'm going to bring my machine a little bit closer, so possibly you can see these designs a little better. So now I'm in my USB stick, and I am looking at the 400 files that Brother has given me. So on the machine, you saw we only had 9 pages of embroidery designs. Now I have 80 pages of embroidery designs. And I even bought a new design today off of Etsy, And you have to make sure that when you buy your designs, you buy the right type of file. This machine uses PES files. So when I load it to my USB, I can then bring it to my machine and I'll be able to do those different designs. And to get to the next page, you just keep going. And it's not as slow. You think 80 pages. I mean, you can get to, well, I guess if I press it, you can get to 80 fairly quickly. I'm on 22 now. But you're gonna want to look through and see what you have in there. Not everything you need is on the last page. Okay, so I'm gonna move it back a little bit. So hopefully you can see again. And I'm gonna load my frame. I'm first gonna put some thread in before I load the frame. That might be helpful. I'm gonna load the bobbin. The rain has stopped, but now it sounds like I have a squeaky chair. It's not one thing, it's another, right? There are videos that tell you how to load, that show you how to load your machine step by step, slowly, and their cameras are really close so you can see everything perfectly. So I would advise you do like I did, go and watch those videos so that you thread your machine properly and that you buy the right types of threads. I'm gonna have to stand up so I can see it properly. So that's my advice to you. Hopefully my arms are not all in the camera. Probably are. With that. So now I'm just gonna pick a basic design to do. Let's just see. Something fairly simple. Oh, look at the little rabbit. Let's use the little rabbit. And you can resize your designs. You can't make them that much smaller or that much bigger, but you can make them a tad bit smaller, a tad bit bigger. That's as small as that one go. So I'm gonna go back and pick another design because I want something a little bit smaller, just so I can show you quickly a nice basic design. I'm gonna go and do a W. I've done a T already. Let's find a nice W set. I'm gonna make it as small as it will allow. You can make it as small as you want. You can move it around on your frame. So I did this one in the top corner. I'm gonna do this W now in the bottom corner. And videos, I'm telling you, there are loads of videos on there that will show you how to do this in detail. That's probably still too big. It might embroider over my other. Can I reduce the size? The editing function. Where's the red line? Okay, it's telling me I've moved it to the corner too far. So I need to take it up some and over some. And now I'm in the red line. And you can see the color threads that it's telling me to choose here. I want to choose another one. I just want something really small and quick that I can show you. I don't want something that's going to be, should I just use a basic circle? Maybe just so. Drink some water. Just going to choose this basic circle. I'm going to try to make it as small as I can make the circle. Not so small. And now I'm going to put it, excuse me. All right, and it's telling me to use, I set my machine to Madeira because I know that the threads that I have a chart that tells me which one to use in the color that I have. So this says use Madeira 1800 and it shows you a black thread there. I'm gonna put this is another piece of stabilizer from my little box, but I don't want to throw it away. I got so much space I can still use and practice with, so why waste it? So I'm going to add this to the frame, and I'm going to put it as far up as possible so I can try to get down here and not embroider over my design that's already on there. There are videos that show you step by step how to put your frames on, making sure that they're nice and taut, and I should leave a little bit of fabric so I can pull if I need to, and my frame is closed, so it is not, okay, it's open. I was going to say it's not going to, it's best to sit it down and then push. That's what I've learned. It's best to sit it down on the table and then push and then screw. As tight as possible. If your fabric is not taut, meaning it should be tight in your frame, your fabric should not be loose. So if you just pull your fabric at the sides and at the end, it should get tighter and tighter, and I heard that it should sound like a drum, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm also going to be, again, extra careful and use the tip that I saw, and I am going to put my clips on. Just so I won't have all this fabric flying all around everywhere. I just rolled mine. I like it. I need to change my foot. Again, there are videos that's going to tell you, teach you how to do this. They're going to do it up so close, you'll be able to see everything. You won't miss a thing. With me doing it now, you may miss something because my camera is not up that close. I'm going to get my screwdriver out. Actually, I'm going to get the ring tool out. And I'm going to turn my machine. Oh no, I don't want to turn it off. Okay. Oh, I love this machine. So I don't want to turn it off, but I do want to lock it because I don't want to make a mistake and press this button. Even though it's red, it's not going to do anything. But I'm going to lock the machine. So I can't do no wrong there, hopefully. And I'm hoping I'm not putting my arms all in the video. As I take this off, I'm taking the whole shaft off. I don't know if that's the legal name, if that's what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it. So as you notice, I took the whole thing off. I got a bare foot there. Bare leg. And now I am going to put my, so if you notice, I left that screw on there, but you want to bring it out some because this connects on there. Again, my advice to you is go and watch those videos because they will show you this in much more detail than I am showing you right now. I don't even know if I'm showing you. Hopefully you can see it and not just my arms. Do that right? I think I lifted it up too high. Feels like it. Could be just me. Okay. I'm going to pause the camera for a minute and then I'll come back to you. Okay, I've come back to you. I've got my foot changed. I've also threaded my machine, done my top thread. Again, there are so many videos that show you how to do this. So the videos for the SE600, the video for the SE625, and others, they all tell you how to thread your machine, and they go in detail, moving the camera close up so you can see all the numbers and all of that. So they do that for you. I am going to make sure my presser foot is up, and I'm going to put my frame under. And I'm going to connect my frame to my carriage. And again, so many videos to show you how to do this. I feel like my arms are too much in the way. I'm going to pause again. Okay, I'm back with you. And my frame is on. I'm going to unlock the machine. And it shows me exactly on my machine where my needle is going to be on the frame. And I'm going to take a step back because I'm going to show you something. This button here, which I learned, I hope you can see this, but if I press it, it's going to show me everywhere that it's going to sew this design. And it's back to the middle. So long as this is red, it will not do anything. So it gives me the opportunity to check everything, make sure I've threaded proper, my thread is there, and everything is done. Now I'm ready to start. And I am gonna bring the camera closer so you can see this. Two things I want you to do if you can. I want you to watch the screen and then be watching here as well. And the reason being is because wherever the needle is on here, it will be on here on the screen as well, which I think is so cool. Okay, here we go. About to press start. Put my presser foot down. Green button is telling me I've done everything that it thinks I need to do to get started, so I can start. Stray thread. Now, very wrong choice I made here to use a black thread on a black fabric. What kind of sense does that make? Okay, cut the thread, move the thread, and start again. So you're not even going to see my design because I made a silly mistake of using black thread, black fabric. Exactly where it stopped and where to go and start again. Okay, and it told me that it's finished. Bright Me is now going to change the thread to a light color so we can see this clearly. And I'm also going to move the design to this side so I can do it on this side for you. I'm going to pause so my arms won't be all in the way. Okay, your girl's back at you. Unlock my machine. I'm now going to go back and I'm going to move this design to the other side, to the other corner. I've got some lime green thread now, y'all. I went from one extreme, from black to lime green, because you need to see this. All right, let me just check my area. And it's going to show me the area where it is going to. So, and I've noticed something here. I'm going to fix that before I start. I don't know if you've noticed, but like this is all over in there. So I'm simply going to take this clip over here. I don't necessarily need clips for this because it's not that thick. This is quite a thin fabric. But another purpose of this clip that I can see now, there go my arms again. Maybe I won't use the clip, but I just need to make sure that that fabric doesn't get caught in there. So again, I'm gonna put my presser foot. It's already down. Okay, we're ready. Green light is on. Let's start. For a minute design. Put my needle back down and start again. I've got lime green now, you guys. So you should be able to see that. Much better. Just a simple circle, but just to show you how the machine works. Show you the machine at work. The Brother SE630 Embroidery and Sewing Machine, and it has told me that it is finished embroidering. If you were doing a design that had different colors, like my other design that I showed you, when it, just like it told me finish embroidering, when it's time to change colors, it will tell you to change colors, and it will show you on the screen what color you need to change to. Well guys, although there were some hiccups in this, everything is trial and error in this life, isn't it? There were some hiccups in this, but in the end, we got there. Again, I'm going to cut my little thread there, and I'm going to take this off just so I can show you. I'm going to lock the machine, and I'm going to put the presser foot up, take my frame off. My arms are all in the video again, I'm sure. And there we are. We have a simple little circle that we did just now. And on the back of here, we've got some little threads that we'll want to cut off, clean up our designs really nice and neatly. And when we tear this away, we will tear, you know, all of this away, but you can tear that away as well. So simple circle we just did there. And any design you do, you want to clean up all those little threads and things from all over your design. And I'm telling you, just play with this machine. Just play. That's all I'm doing. I'm just playing. But today I'm actually gonna do an embroidery on an actual skirt that I made. I finished the skirt yesterday, and I'm gonna embroider this same design onto my skirt. I just wanted to test it here first. I hope you enjoyed my video. Once again, thanks for watching. Sorry it was a bit long-winded. Apologies for the mistakes, but I guess it's good to see mistakes, and you can see, you know, how to fix things. That's what I heard on watching other videos. It's true. I mean, we learn by our mistakes. Mistakes, you know, are not to cause us to be failures, but for us to learn. So I hope you've enjoyed what you saw here today, and please like and comment. Thank you again for watching. Bye.